Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, you're welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe and please turn on the bell as well. Thank you so much. So in my last update about Jodha and AKBAR, Jalal tried to expose Jagdev to all the villagers, but at the end of the day the plan backfired, and now Jodha have to give punishment to Jalal, and Jodha was thinking on how she will give punishment to her husband. That was the last update. Let's continue from there. Jagdev shows the grain story to his men, and one man says that Jalal doesn't know that Jagdev has changed the warehouse. Jagdev says that he has seen Jalal in the other warehouse, so he decided to change the place of the grain, and Jagdev asks his men to keep an eye on the grains till Mirza's men will come there. Jalal shouted at God and says that he is angry with God today. And why did God do this with Jodha? Because at one side is Jodha's husband, and at the other side is the villagers who trust Jodha. The spiritual soul comes there and says that when you hurt one person, then it hurt many other people. The soul says that Jalal is remembering his wife's pain, but has Jalal ever thought that the people that he has given pain to, their loved one would also suffer? So what Jalal saw is what Jalal would reap, and Jalal have hurt many people, and now it is time for Jalal to feel the pain as well. Jalal asks that who is the spiritual soul, and why is it that other people cannot see him? The spiritual soul says that he is Jalal's soul, and he is the day who separates Jalal from the night, and he is that happiness that Jalal feel, and he is the pain that Jalal has given to others, and now Jalal would feel the pain as well. And the spiritual soul vanished from there, and Jalal looks around and he also looks in the sky. The people were chanting for Salim, and Salima comes there and says to Salim that he prayed that Salim would win. Barbara says to Salim that Jalal will meet Salim in Warfield. Salim thinks that he has to see Anarkali once for peace, and Anarkali was in the crowd. Anarkali says to Sakina that this is all drama because the soldiers will fight and die, and then they will raise Salim's flag that he is the winner. And when the soldier will be fighting, then Salim will be busy drinking and enjoying dance. Jodha was in tears, and Jodha says that she will not give punishment to Jalal, and she will never do it. Jalal comes there, and Jodha looks at Jalal emotionally. Jalal says to Jodha that Jodha should give him punishment, because if Jodha doesn't give him punishment, then Jodha would have to suffer. Jodha says that she will tell the people about their relationship, but she cannot give Jalal punishment. Jalal says that this is not a punishment but is repentance, and he has hurt a lot of people, and now it is his time to pay back. Jodha asks that who told Jalal all this. Jalal says that it is the same spiritual kid, and he doesn't know who he is, and he doesn't know why other people cannot see him. Jalal says that Jodha should promise him that Jodha will punish him, because now Jodha is the judge, and Jodha have to do justice. Jodha says that as Jalal's wife, she knows that Jalal has not done any mistake. Jalal says that he knows that he has not done any mistake, but Jodha should forget that he is Jodha's husband, because this punishment is for him, so Jodha should give the punishment to him. And Jalal asks Jodha to remember this, and Jalal leaves. Jagdev finds Jodha there and Jalal leaving from there, but Jagdev did not see Jalal's face, and Jagdev thinks that who came to meet Jodha, and later Jagdev thinks that maybe it is someone that came to get medicine from Jodha, and he knows that anybody will try to come closer to Jodha because Jodha is beautiful. In the court, Jodha says to Jalal that Jalal have done a mistake of betraying, and Jalal will get punished for it. And Jalal's punishment is that Jalal cannot live in the village from now on, so Jalal should leave from the village. Jalal sits at Jodha's feet and says that Jodha should not do this because his family is here and he cannot leave from there. So Jodha should not give him such a big punishment. Jagdev says that there is one more punishment for a thief, and Jalal says okay, Jodha can give him that punishment, but he will not leave Jodha. And Jalal quickly says that he meant to say that he will not leave the village. And Jalal touches Jodha's feet and pleads. Jodha says that what is Jalal doing? And Jodha says no, Jalal's punishment is to leave from the village. Jalal says no, Jodha should please give him the second punishment. But Rukaya says that Jalal should let them go away from the village. Jalal says no, and he folds his hand in front of Jodha and asks Jodha to change the punishment. And all the villagers also ask Jodha to give Jalal another punishment. Jodha was worried, and Jodha says okay. Another punishment for Jalal is that Jalal would have to get beaten up by the hunters, and she knows that Jalal cannot endure the beating, so Jalal have to leave. Jalal says no, he is ready to get beaten up, and Jodha was shocked. Sharma comes to aid her, and Ada was having headache, and Sharma says that she is happy that Ada did not go to war. Sharma gives a drink to Ada, and Ada drinks it and asks that what was that. Sharma says that the drink is for constipation, and Ada says that but he doesn't have constipation, and Ada started feeling pain in his tummy, and he says that he will kill Sharma now. Jalal was getting beaten up, and Rukaya asks Jodha to spare Jalal and they will leave from the village, but Jalal says no, if this is justice, then he is ready to get it. Rukaya whispers in Jalal's ears to tell everyone who he is and nobody will be able to touch him then, but Jalal asks Rukaya not to create more problems for Jodha, and Jalal asks Rukaya to go away, and the lady takes Rukaya away. A man started beating Jalal with whip, and Jodha and Rukaya were in tears. Jalal remembered how his people had to suffer because of his orders, and Jalal remembered how the spiritual kid said to him that Jalal would have to bear the pain that he has also given to people as well. Jalal's back started bleeding, and after the punishment, Jalal was freed. Jalal falls on the ground and he was injured, and Jodha and Rukaya were worried. So talk begins, and Jalal so says that he went out of the palace to become a common person, but he became a common thief instead, and it was his payback time, and he was given punishment to pay, but that day, he got to know how it feels to get punished. Rukaya was treating Jalal's wound, and Jodha comes there. Rukaya says that Jodha should not touch Jalal's wound because to save Jodha's position, Jodha gave punishment to her own husband, and how can Jodha stoop so low? Jodha says that Rukaya is right because she really stooped so low and she did such a big thing that today she cannot even be forgiven, but the king's order was so big for her that she had to give the punishment to her own husband, and it is her punishment now that she cannot even put medicine on her husband's wound. Jodha was about to leave, but Jalal stops Jodha and asks her for water. Rukaya says to Jodha that she doesn't know about Jodha's pain, but Jodha should give water to Jalal. Mahan says to his man that he would run away from Mirza's custody, then Mirza will get angry with him, and Mirza will send the soldiers behind him, and Mirza's attention will be diverted from the war. Jodha makes Jalal drink water, and Jalal says that Jodha knows it, that it was not a mistake. Jodha says that why did Jalal not leave from the village, and Jalal says that he wanted to feel how it feels to get beaten up, and this pain is much lesser than the pain that he has given to people. Jodha was giving medicine to the injured people, and Jalal was also working there. One man comes to Jalal and says that he will not get medicine from a thief hand, and maybe Jalal will give them poison. Jalal started leaving, but one man asked Jalal that where is he going to, and nobody would ask him to serve the common people, so Jalal have to work hard now. And the man asked Jalal to take the vegetable carton into the kitchen. Jalal carried the carton, and Jalal feels pain to hold the carton because of the wounds. Jodha looks at Jalal, and Jodha was in tears seeing Jalal in pain. Jodha was crying, and she says to herself that all this is happening because of her, because Jalal came to the village because of her, and Jalal has to bear all the pain because of her, and why can't she die before seeing Jalal's pain? Jalal comes there, and Jalal sits in front of Jodha, and Jalal says that why is Jodha blaming herself? Because Jodha only did justice, and as a judge, Jodha punished him for his crime. Jodha says that only she knows how she feels for giving Jalal punishment. Jalal says that he knows that Jodha feels his pain even before he felt it, and they feel for each other, but this is the beauty of their relationship, and if Jodha cry, then how will he be strong? So Jodha should not cry, and Jalal asks Jodha. So talk begins, and Jalal so says that punishment was my lesson, that the pain that I had given to people, then I had to bear them too. Jodha so says that that punishment, I remembered it for my whole life, and you had to bear that punishment, but the attack left impact on my heart for life, because you had to bear the punishment because of my order. Salim asks Kutub about the force of Mirza, and Kutub says that they are 25,000. Salim says that his own soldiers are half of Mirza's soldiers, so they have to be clever, and he doesn't want them to run away from their clutches. Salim made a plan for the war, and Kutub asked Salim that why is Salim placing himself at the most difficult position in the battlefield, and does Salim not love himself a little? Salim says that when the army head is leading his force, then the whole force gets stronger, and he wants to assure his soldiers that he is with them till his last breath. Kutub says that they would fight, and Salim says that Kutub is lucky that he has someone, that is his wife, who is waiting for him and who is praying for his life. And him, the one that he loved, that is Anarkali, doesn't even pray for him. And in fact, she is cursing him. Anarkali was praying to God, and Zil asked Anarkali to pray for Salim too, because Salim has gone for the war. Anarkali says that she would only pray for Salim's force because Salim only loves the gungrus of the dancers. Zil says that Anarkali should not think like that about Salim because Salim has spent his life in the war field and Salim is a king, and kings do like dance bars, but that doesn't mean that he is not a good warrior and he is their next king. And by the way, Salim is fighting for the whole of Agra, so Anarkali should keep her personal grudges aside and pray for Salim's life, and Zil leaves. Anarkali thinks about Salim, and Anarkali sits and prays for Salim, and a song plays in the background. Moti asks Jodha that how is Jalal now, and Jodha says that Jalal is fine now because Rukaya is with him. Jagdev comes there, and Moti says that she feels like killing Jagdev because Jagdev made Jalal bear punishment. Jodha comes to talk to Jagdev, and Jodha says to him that she knows that Jagdev must be hurt by Jalal's matter. Jagdev says that he knows that Jodha must felt bad by giving punishment to Jalal as well because Jodha is a lady. Jodha says that it is not about being a lady, but she thinks that Jalal was innocent. Jagdev says that he can see that Jodha have a soft heart, and he just wanted to tell Jodha that tomorrow is holy function, and the head of the village says that Jodha did great, but their king has forgotten to give some happiness to his people. Jodha says that it is nothing like that because it was King Jalal who gave order that Hindus can celebrate their festivals freely, and Jodha thinks in her mind to bring out the truth about Jagdev soon. Mehtab comes to Jalal, and Jalal says that he is fine. Mehtab tries to talk about Jalal's wound, and Jalal says that he is a warrior and he is used to the wound, and Mehtab is also working there as a warrior and they are proud of her, and Rukaya also says that they are proud of Mehtab. Jodha comes there and says that Jagdev has arranged for holy function and it is time to bring out the truth about Jagdev so that people can realize that the mistake is from Jagdev and not from Jalal. Rukaya agrees with Jodha, and Jalal says that now they will do it, and he has also sent message to Barbara, and Jodha says that on Holi, Jagdev's sins should also burn. Jagdev comes to Jalal in the holy function and says that he did not allow Jalal to go away from the village because he wanted Jalal to see who he is, and people like Jalal are just mere insects in front of him. Jalal gets angry, and Jagdev comes to Jodha and asks Jodha to light the holy fire. Jodha says that the holy festival is where people forget their grudges and they try to kill their sins. Jagdev says that Jodha has a great thought, so he forgives Jalal for his mistakes. Jodha says that she wants Jalal to light the fire because he has already bore his punishment. And why do the people keep giving punishment to him? And why can't the people give respect to the person who has already bear his punishment? And Jalal should be given the chance to redeem himself. So she wants Jalal to light the fire. Jagdev says that as Jodha wish, and Jodha gives the candle to Jalal. Jalal smiles at Jodha and he lights the fire. The head of the village says that Jalal will take around the fire and the couples will do it together, that is Jalal and his wife. Jalal was walking around the fire with Rukaya, and Jodha looks at them. The head of the village asks Jodha to come, but Jodha says that she cannot come because it is meant for the couples. Rukaya says that why not? Because Jodha forgave her husband, so she is able to be with her husband right now because of Jodha, so Jodha can come with them, and it will be their honor to have Jodha. Jodha smiles and go behind Jalal, and they walk round the fire together. Sharma was irritating Haida, and Javeda comes there and asks that what happened. Haida says that he cannot bear Sharma again, and so Javeda should talk to her, and Haida angrily leaves. Sharma says that why did Haida go away from her, and Javeda says to Sharma that if Sharma remains like this, then Haida will not marry her. Jodha thinks that this is the first time that she will be celebrating Holi with Jalal. Moti comes to Jodha and applies color to Jodha, and Moti wishes Jodha happy Holi. Jodha applies color to Moti and Mehtab, and Moti says that Rukaya doesn't like color. Jodha asks that where is Rukaya, and Moti says that Rukaya is in her room. Some girls comes there and ask Rukaya to come out of her room to play Holi with them. The head of the village comes there and sends the girls away, and Rukaya comes out and thanks the head of the village for sending the girls away. The head of the village says that no one should force anyone to celebrate Ole, and they can only use their mind. And the head of the village applies color on Rukaya's face. One girl comes there and throws water at Rukaya, and Rukaya was irritated and she shouted. And Rukaya thinks that once she go back to the palace, then she will send the head of the village to jail. Jodha applied tilak on the sick people, and Jodha wished them happy Ole. The head of the village says that everyone are happy because of Jodha. Jodha says that it is not because of her, but it is because of the Lord. And Jodha turns and she sees Jalal smiling at her. Jalal signals to Jodha that he wants to apply color on Jodha, but Jodha knows that no. The head of the village asks Jodha that what happened, and Jodha says nothing, and the head of the village leaves. Jalal was approaching Jodha with the color plate, and Jodha was also coming towards Jalal. Jalal trips and the color falls on Jodha's face, and Jodha smiles. Jodha sits to give Jalal the plate, and Jodha touches Jalal's feet in the process, and Jalal blesses Jodha, and Jodha leaves. Then Rukaya smiles, looking at the two of them. Jagdev comes there and thinks that today he would apply color on Jodha's face from his colors, and it will make the Oli special for Jodha. Jalal saw Jagdev and comes to Jodha, and Jalal says that it is time to teach Jagdev a lesson. And as Jagdev is busy in the Oli, then his soldiers are finding out where he has been hiding the grains cartons. Jagdev imagined applying colors on Jodha, and Jagdev thinks that he will celebrate Oli with Jodha at any cost. And Jagdev throws the color at Jodha's face, and Jalal and everyone were shocked. Jodha angrily looks at Jagdev, and one man says that Jagdev should have been in his limit. Jalal gets angry with Jagdev, and Jagdev says that he was only throwing the color at someone else, and Jodha came in between. Jodha says that it was not deliberate, so she forgives Jagdev. Jalal asks his soldiers about the grain cartons, but the soldier says that they were not able to find it. Jagdev invites Jodha to come to his son's school for a function, and Jodha thinks that she will not lose her cool in front of Jagdev, so Jodha agrees to go for the function, and Jagdev thinks that this night Jodha will be with him, and Jalal also thinks that this night he will bring out the truth about Jagdev. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching till the end, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to share it and subscribe, and I will see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.